I know y'all are probably like, why am I talking about this guy again as well as this family? Well, in case y'all have not heard, the city of Dallas was dismissed from the civil lawsuit that Botham Jean's family had against them. And I can't help but wonder and think that this had something to do with that, or at least played a role in it. So we're just going to go ahead and skip all of the theatrics again right into this article. The city of Dallas won't be held liable for the death of Botham Jean, a federal district judge ruled this week. U.S. District Judge Barbara Lynn dismissed the city from a civil lawsuit filed by John's family. John, a black man from St. Lucia living in Dallas, was killed in his own home by Amber Geiger, a white off-duty police officer, on September 6, 2018. Though the lawsuit did not seek a specific amount, Geiger is now the only defendant in the civil lawsuit filed in 2018, making a high-dollar settlement unlikely. I want y'all to really pay close attention to that. They're basically saying that should this lawsuit have gone through and was successful, this was going to be the only way that the family was going to receive a lot of money in a settlement, because they were suing an entire city where they would have been able to get more money out of them or squeeze more money out of them. But now that they're off the table and Amber Geiger is the only one there that they can actually sue, basically for like wrongful death or any whatever it is, they're not going to get even close to what they could have received had the lawsuit gone through with the city. The results of all that forgiving and this display that you see right here and him getting his little reward is, I can't help but think that is the cause of it, or at least a part of it, and a huge part of that, almost like a chunk of it. But people were saying, you don't know what's in the family's heart. You need to let them grieve the way they want to. Okay. And also, in case y'all didn't know, because the lawsuit did not go through with the city, Esley Merritt, or as some people call him, Sleaze Merritt, he's not going to get a big payout either. He's not going to get as much as he thought he was going to get, unless he's been paid already. And even then, I don't think he got paid that much. I would not trust that person as my attorney. There's a reason why they're calling him Sleaze Merritt. They're not just calling him that because it sounds funny. It's a reason behind it. Geiger was still in uniform when she shot John using her service weapon. Oh, before I go any further, when it says the lawsuit did not seek a specific amount, that makes me question it too. Like, how much were you asking for? Like, at this point, I think we can safely say how much you were asking for, since we know you're not going to get it now. Geiger was still in uniform when she shot John using her service weapon. She says she believed she was in her own apartment. She was later fired from the department. In October, Geiger was found guilty of murder in John's death and is serving a 10-year sentence. And I put that in quotations. The 2-week trial captivated Dallas and the world as a renewed focus on white officers shooting unarmed black men. John's family argued in their civil lawsuit that John's death was a result of pattern of excessive force by Dallas police and that better training could have prevented his death. They should have argued for something else too, because that's the same argument, same song and dance they like to use on everybody. By simply following proper police procedures and the best police practices and not the protocol of the DPD to shoot first and ask questions later, defendant Geiger would have not shot John, the lawsuit read. Essentially, Officer Geiger was ill-trained and as a result defaulted to the defective DPD policy to use deadly force even when there exists no immediate threat of harm to themselves or others. The city countered that the lawsuit failed to provide evidence to their claims and cannot prove causation. Prior to Lynn's decision, a magistrate judge agreed with the city and suggested it be dismissed from the lawsuit. Legal experts said that was because Geiger was off duty. A lawsuit against the city was unlikely to be successful. I can tell that Botham Jean's family and whoever their handlers are did not think this through. And S. Lee Merritt is part of that crew that's one of their handlers. They didn't really think that through at all. Dallas interim city attorney Christopher Caso declined to comment Thursday. Darrell Washington, the Johns family lawyer, said he had not reviewed the latest court documents. However, he maintained that Geiger acted and was treated as an on-duty officer at the scene of the crime, and therefore the city should be held accountable. He also referenced testimony at the trial where Geiger and others talked about police training in response to threats. There are a number of things that Amber Geiger did not do or said she did not recall how to do. If this stuff was drilled into police officers, we would not have people saying they weren't familiar with de-escalation practices. The lawsuit was filed by John's parents, Allison and Bertram John, and his sister Alyssa Finley. John grew up in St. Lucia, but came to the U.S. to attend college in Arkansas. He later worked as an accountant at Price Waterhouse Coopers in Dallas. Well, there you have it. Now, this is probably going to completely seal the chapter on this case, now that they can't get the civil lawsuit. But I am curious to know, it said they didn't ask for a specific amount. Then the question is, how much did you ask for? Was it that low or was it that high? And considering this family only wanted to give her a hug and forgive her and say that they wanted to be her friend, means they probably didn't ask for much even then. But they're not going to get much. They said that basically the only people they can get something out of is Amber Geiger. And because she's just that person, it's not like she's a multi-billionaire or some type of heiress or something like that. They ain't going to get much out of her. She's a low-level servant. Or they only going to give them what they feel they deserve. And apparently after this display, it's not going to be much. And again, I still feel absolutely nothing. I hope that the brother shines his little reward every single day, because that's probably the best thing he could have gotten from that department or from the city of Dallas. Out there parading that little trophy around for giving this murderer a hug and saying, I forgive you. And I want to be your friend and whatnot. And that she doesn't deserve to go to jail. They took all of that into account. And we kept telling people, I said, this is going to bite them in the rear end. But people kept saying, no, let them do what they want. I was like, okay. And now look at what happened. Like I said, this is pretty much the end right here. Like, they can't go any further than this. They're going to try to push to have that civil suit continue to go further, but I doubt it's going to go any further. Like, it's off the table now. It's not going to happen. So they better take the crumbs and pennies that they're going to get about Amber Geiger, which apparently won't be much, and go on with the rest of their lives. And I hope that they decide to live their lives low. But something tells me, because this is a high profile case, expect, them to make more television appearances and probably write a book or two about their experience in the courtroom. I'll talk to you in the next one.